Okay, so every horse owner has this at their barn. It's a bag full of bags. Full of bags that you've been feeding your horses that are filling up your waste basket, your garbage, or you save them. You use a few for green waste that you put out at the curb. You use them as trash bags, but you go through so much feed that you always have bags of bags. Luckily, my mom takes some of them, so that helps. So I've discovered a couple of different uses for these bags that I just thought I would share with you guys. And one is, I love gardening. I pile up some of my compost or my waste from the barn, all the muck. I make a pile, I make a big thing of compost, and then where I want to plant, if I have grass, or where I've been planting under some oak trees, have a whole bunch of oak suckers that are constantly coming up that are hard to get out of the garden. So it has little to do with horses other than that's where the bags come from. But I take the feed bags, cut off the bottom, throw the bottom away. You're going to cut down one seam of the feed bag. And these are not all recyclable because they're a weird plastic, or like this one with the hay pellets is paper on the outside, but it's like a plastic weave. So you can't really recycle it as paper. It doesn't break down. These things take up a ton of room in your garbage when you're running a barn. And so if you take those, you have one clean edge if you're trying to do an edge. And when you cut the end of the bag off and open it up, you have a weed barrier. So if I want to plant where I have grass, I don't have to till up the grass. I don't have to disturb the soil. I can just cut these bags and put them down. All right, so I'm just going to cut off one end with a regular pair of scissors. I'm going to cut down a seam. So I have sort of a straight edge. And let's say I wanted to make a path. Right, so I'll do my good edges on the same side. I'm just going to lay down these open feed bags and not have to buy weed barrier. If I want it to be a garden, I can cover this with compost and keep covering it with layers of compost and kill whatever's underneath or prevent it from growing through into my garden. So it prevents weeds or suckers, or you don't have to till the soil. You just put down the bags, and they do degrade over time. They will get kind of fibrous, they will break up, and so they do degrade, but they take a lot longer than cardboard. So especially if I wanted to make a gravel path, this is a perfect way to cover up grass where I want gravel or bricks or mulch or something like that. So we use weed barrier for all kinds of things. But if you're a horse person, you have all the weed barrier you need in those bags of bags that are sitting around your barn and filling up your garbage every week. So just cut off the ends, zip down one side, and this one still has food in it, so it's covered with flies. But basically, take it, use it as a weed barrier, stack them, mix them and match them. You can cut them into any shape you need, and they're awesome. It keeps the weeds from coming through for, I want to say, at least a year, if not longer. So far, the ones I put down have been working for a year without weeds coming through. And I've planted, and I've also used them to put mulch over the top of.